All right, Shalom Akiyam. This is part two of Black Culture. Um, and I pulled up this article. Okay, I'm about to read. It says, there is a difference between black culture and black culture. Black culture sans quotes. Okay, it says, uh, is the sum total of cultural contributions to the mainstream by the black subculture. It's a fluid and a multifaceted, often contradictory theme. Meanwhile, black culture is a lifestyle standard made of assumptions about black identity. Okay? So that means they look into how we are and call it black culture, like sagging pants. That will be considered black culture. Just something, just one of the things, one of the many things. It says, is a lifestyle, okay, standard made of assumptions about black identity, often used successfully by marketers, studio heads, fashion brands, and music labels to make money. So these lost people that have no identity are sticking themselves and putting themselves in something called black culture when actually it has nothing to do with Negroes or whoever calling themselves black. It's telling you that it's gonna be people that use that to make money off of it, but label it black culture. Okay, and you'll look at music. You look at some of the artists. Some of the let's go to the like Lettucey and uh, some of the soul singers, Angie Stone, the things they sing about, the way they dress. You know, it's kind of like women will wear their hair like that. You know what I'm saying, and make it like, okay, she's a black queen. Look at what she's talking about, and all of a sudden that's black culture. But the person who's profiting off that is Esau, because they told you that was black culture. Your culture's been stripped from you. Okay? So it's no way that could be your culture. It's no such thing as fucking black anyway. So um you basically letting someone tell you what your heritage is, what your culture is, what was passed down to you through slavery. And it wasn't passed down through, I mean, it wasn't passed, they didn't pass our nationality um, through slavery and kept it the way we had it when we was in our land. They gave us theirs. Ours was lost. They beat it out of us. Okay? So the concept of black culture is bullshit. It's not even possible. So we just picking up stuff as we go. Let me get back into this order. It says it can be the cool factor that makes kids line up for hours to spend their last dime on a pair of Michael Jordan sneakers. That's black culture. Or the things that makes white people call me brother and blast 2 Chainz when I hop in the car. Brother. That's another thing. What's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? On that black power shit. That's black culture. It says it's what people assume about black people and how they should sound, live, and act. What's up, my nigga? Now you see who. But we know that it said that Jacob, everybody was going to basically follow Judah. I think it said that in Genesis. You know what I'm saying? They was going to set the standard. I think it's Genesis 49. They was going to set the standard. And everybody was going to follow exactly what Judah was doing. You know what I'm saying? So the culture is basically made up as we go. It says black people, how they should sound and live, the way you talk. Hey, yo, what up, son? You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's black culture. You'll hear Esau and other nations talking the same way because they want to be a Negro. They want to be us, but don't want to be us. All right? Black culture may have been born in black communities or created by black Americans, but when appropriated for commerce, there is a danger of mistaking black culture for actual culture experience because we didn't have nothing when we came here. Okay? That's where the myth begins. And it can devalue real human experiences. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? This is 2. Black culture oftentimes employs, but it is not always defined by actual black people. That gives it away right there. It says, often the time black culture is being used to sell a product or idea, it's already been reinterpreted by white people. That music sound good. I think it was the Cadillac Records. Y'all singing it, but let's put some white boys on the cover and have the world thinking that it's their song. Okay? Because it sounds so good. But we can't have you on the cover because it's not going to be accepted. Talking about black culture though. All right? It says, this isn't necessarily malicious, but it's sometimes something to note. We are often told that being black is by people who aren't. Okay, we're often told what being black is by people who aren't. So they gonna tell you what's black. You know what I'm saying? So us basically trying to cleave on to something is pointless. You know? Esau's making these things up as we go. They tell you the new trend is tight ass pants, no socks with your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Put on wedding gowns and shit and wear dresses and walk around with man purses and shit. And that's exactly what black culture is. That's the hip hop culture. Okay? Up and coming black hip hop artists are molded to appeal to the masses by white label executives. Television shows with black characters might have no black writers or directors. What's the show? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta. They set that and set it up because they know that black women gonna watch, and that's what they're gonna to shoot to be like. Okay, and it's all wickedness. Okay, so how can a television show with with black characters with no black writers or directors tell what black culture is? Just a question. Because they don't know what black culture is. They're going to go along the way and have those people act. Esau's crafty, man. He studies the way we move. We're going to have this character in here, and he's going to walk like this and talk like this. And then Jake look at it, and all of a sudden, that's how they are. All right? It says, I'm reminded of a time in college when a white roommate insisted he was blacker than I was by showing me he could successfully crip walk. That's black culture. Crip walk. It was a feat I could not do, nor cared to match. But in that moment, I was made to wonder if I was indeed black enough, despite being the only actual black person present. In that moment, I felt alienated by a culture I had a need to be rooted in. So he had no idea, like, shit, this is what black people do. Crip walk. Esau get their hands on it, and they take it, and they master it, and all of a sudden, they look like us. They dance like us. You know what I'm saying? But this is black culture. So-called black people, Jake in America, bro, black culture is not your fucking culture. All that shit is put up to do is make Esau money. Look cool doing it. It's something. Music executive put Migos up, and everybody dabbing. Now you see little white boys at fucking football games dabbing. But Esau done got paid off that shit. You know what I'm saying? It says the black experience can sometimes be concretely defined by the mainstream that it feels suffocating. The reality of being black is much more, what's that? Damn, I forgot that word. We're going to say nuanced and fluid. Damn. Black culture is nuanced? Nuanced and fluid, whatever it is. Fuck it. It says black culture is multicultural. Black culture draws from a variety of influences born both in and outside of black communities. Ain't that some shit? So, in the black community, they gonna tell you what it is, and outside of the black community, they're gonna tell you what it is. Inside, you can almost imagine Kool-Aid, fried chicken, shit like that. That's black culture. All right. Outside, you're gonna have Esau sticking his hands off in the mix and adding in things, normally homosexual shit, and you mix it together, and it's Jake, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Janelle Monáe's album Electric Lady demonstrates this. It is a brilliant amalgamation, whatever that word is, of artistic references as desperate as Motown's and Fritz Lang's Metropolis. Being black in America involves a process of moving through and adopting from many different cultures. So black culture just is a whole bunch of regurgitated shit from every other culture. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing original, okay? This was nothing passed down from our ancestors to us, okay? Adopting from many different cultures. To define what's authentically black is virtually impossible. So you can't, it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? Because it was stripped from us. And they're not going to tell us in this article that we the chosen people of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and we the real Jews, and we go back to royal blood, and we got to keep laws, statutes, and commandments, and this planet was made for our sake. They're not going to tell us that, okay? It says, as there are as many ways to be black as there are black people. Check this out. Black culture is not proprietary to black people. Many observers had a tough time when rapper Macklemore and Ryan Lewis won the Grammy for Best Rap Album over Kendrick Lamar. There is similar discontent over the lack of black artists being recognized or rotated on radio in categories once owned by black musicians, like R&B or hip-hop. Both, but this is not new. Once communities of black artists birth something to the mass culture, in many ways, it is no longer ours. For every Dizzy Gillespie, there is a Dave Brubeck. It can be a tough pill to swallow, particularly when a culture we feel ownership over reaches new heights of success in more mainstream, i.e., whiter hands. So the whites get it. Shit, good luck with it. There is something unsettling about the fact that black artists doing things associated with black culture, rapping, twerking, doesn't seem to capture the mainstream's attention as potently as when white artists do it. Miley Cyrus. And that goes back to when it said Jacob gonna set the standard. Like, you'll see a black chick twerking. You look at Miley Cyrus and like, man, that shit garbage. You know what I'm saying? But that's how Esau works. That's how he works. Okay? He's gonna use Jake because it looks more enticing when we do it because we're the salt of the earth. Okay, it looks better. You know what I'm saying? It sounds better. It feels better. You know what I'm saying? Esau bland, bro. Esau like a big ass pot of fucking gumbo with no seasoning in it. You know what I'm saying? A chicken, fried chicken with no salt and pepper, no seasoning and nut. And they just bland as hell, bruh. They the basis of all men. You know what I'm saying? But that's why they use us to make shit look cool, but they're getting paid off of it. And then call it black culture. Personally, I happen to enjoy both Kendrick Lamar and Macklemore, Brubeck and Gillespie, and even a couple of Hall and Oates jams from time to time, but I don't define my black experience as something as transient as music or fashion. I get more infuriated when presented with an overly defined and limited depiction of what being black represents. Like being told, I talk white. In school, our McRib commercials are more egregiously seeing white kids in college dress as black stereotypes and post pictures of it on Facebook on a day meant to honor a civil rights icon. Okay? Black culture is a starting point. Culture of any kind can be grounded and comforting, creating a home of nourishment and rules for understanding ourselves. But a certain point, a culture identity too tightly defined keeps us from growing. I'm grounded in, but not limited by my blackness. When I began trying to get my film made, the confines of black culture seems to suggest that if a black movie wasn't broadly comedic, a historical epic tragedy, or a street story, there would be no audience in it. So he basically telling you, if it didn't portray selling dope, you know what I'm saying, or some funny shit, then it's not gonna reach the masses of the people, because we know our black culture, and we will support it because we feel like we belong there. Okay? He said, but I made it anyway after millions of YouTube views for the trailer, several sold out screenings at Sundance. My quirkly, I don't want to read all that, but anyway, it's basically just telling you, bro, black culture is from everybody else's culture. We have no culture. We're coming back into the things of remembrance of old on what we used to do. Okay? Jake just want to stick to any fucking thing, bruh. We have nothing to belong to, so Jake, hey, they riding with whatever's rolling. Whatever looks enticing, Jake jumping on it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck black culture. That shit don't even belong to us. You know what I'm saying? It's just make up a culture as you go. Shit. Jake got fucking culture, but it's trends. Everybody wear a fucking blonde wig. That's what the new culture is. That's the new style. That's what Jake into. You know what I'm saying? It's so much, bro. Our people just too lost in the sauce, man. Hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Double lines to the apostle, and those who great millstone. Peace, safety, and blessings to Yakim. Shalom.